How's it going, everybody? Dan Schinder here with
Steven Schinder.
on Yesshift on the road visiting Roger Dean and Freyja Dean's exhibit at, well, in San Francisco, which is really cool to begin with because we've never been here together. Not that I remember.
Right, yeah, we've each been here on separately on different occasions. So, yeah, this has been a great trip, and the exhibit, actually being there, like in front of the paintings, is just something else.
So this is a preview to our big recap video that we're putting together. They actually were so kind and let us shoot a lot of photographs and a lot of video. And we're going to put something special, but we couldn't contain ourselves. We
Yeah.
have to let some of this out. Something I told Steve, we were walking to dinner earlier, and I said, "There's so much I want to say, but I want to save it for the show because we don't pre conversate about the thing. So when you see us talk about this or hear us talk about it on the show, it's 100% organic. So here's the thing. I live in Globe, Arizona, which is 2 hours, basically, hour and a half east of Phoenix, 100 miles into the mountains. My wife drove me, I drove, she drove it back. I drove to the airport and flew to Bakersfield, California, jumped in a rental car, picked up Steve, and we got on the road and drove another 4.5, 5.5 hours to San Francisco. And it occurred to me today, I've never traveled that far to go see any band, but wanted so badly to be here to see this exhibit. And I realized how much this really means to me. I've been a fan of Roger Dean's art since I was like 10, 11ish, something like that. And I learned a lot about his art and about art through my mother because my mother was an artist and she actually taught me what a repeatograph pen is when I started showing her Roger's art decades ago. We're talking about decades ago. So I realized just how much he's been, you know how we say about certain music, the soundtrack of our life?
Yeah.
And he's been like a lens, one of the lenses on the vision of my life, you
Yeah,
know?
the filter of
Yeah,
our lives,
yeah,
better than any Instagram filter, just
that's true.
objectively speaking.
and and to come out here and see this, it's the exact same feeling when we first walked through those front doors. And we're not going to spoil a lot of stuff. We're each going to give one or two paintings away, but there's a few that we've reserved that we've agreed we're not even going to mention while we're here right now. You got to wait for the film. But when we first walked in, there's a big wide door and then like a foyer, and halls go both ways, and immediately there's paintings on the walls. And then you can keep walking straight and there's the gift shop and the reception, but we didn't do that. With the first thing that caught my eye, made me and I'm not going to say what it is yet, but I will in a moment. It was just like, you see, I grew up with the Yes albums and the posters and stuff in my room as a kid. And it was just like when you see a band for the first time and
Yeah.
you say, there they are. When I had Led Zeppelin and Yes and Rush and Genesis and Jethro Tull on my walls, on my ceilings. And every time I saw one of those bands first, starting with Led Zeppelin, it was like, oh my gosh, there they are.
Yeah.
It was at least that same feeling with these paintings.
Yeah, I mean, with the first one, we saw, like, once we got that impression of what's like being around it, it's like we knew what we were in for, kind of. Like, we knew
Yeah.
we were gonna be like blown away by just like even watching the pictures and footage of it is, I don't know if we can do it justice, but like if ever there's an exhibit that you can get to that features art by Roger Dean,
You have
and
to.
yeah, or Freya Dean,
You have to.
yeah, you gotta give it a shot at least once. It's amazing.
I'm going to show just one.
Okay.
Okay. And this is, I don't know how well this will show up, but my point is, when we walked in, what caught my eye to our right was this one of the most iconic Roger Dean related to Yes paintings, and it's called Pathway, right?
Pathways. Yeah.
Pathways.
So very fitting for the secret path.
Yeah, bear with me. Let me see if I can get the lighting to adjust. Now, that's the actual one that's printed in the album, and if any of you have the album like I do from when it came out, it doesn't look like that because it's printed on paper. It's faded for 50 years. I mean, we can go on and on. I could not believe how starkly sharp and vivid these colors were.
Yeah.
And there it was. Just like when you look down, there they are on the stage. We were this close to it. At least I was. There's
Yeah.
no ropes. There's no. I found one painting that was missing a flower. We had a red pen. I put it in. Just kidding.
Yeah, we did not do any
No.
of that.
No.
Like we would never.
Of course not. But,
Just the thought of vandalizing art just.
yeah, but the clarity of that, it looks like it's computer printed and it's a freaking painting.
Yeah.
This is long before Photoshop or digital art. So that's, I wanted to unfold that way because that's my first impression when I realized as we were walking away from there, holy crap. It was
Yeah.
just like seeing your favorite rock stars for the first time. Each one of these paintings.
Yeah, for sure. And you like looking up close, you can see where the movements were like when creating the paintings, and it's very different from just seeing like the like
Printed.
yeah,
In a magazine or the album. Now, so you mentioned one. You mentioned one, and if I have it here, I'll do the same thing for
okay.
what that's worth. We were hoping to fly it in like we do usually online, but I couldn't get it to work with the Wi-Fi here. So you want to look and see what I have?
Yeah, let me see if you have it on here.
And there's, like I said, there's some that we've agreed we are not even going to say that they're there or not until you see the film.
I have it
we
on
made.
my phone, so yeah, it shouldn't.
It
take
might
too long.
show better if you text it to me. Let's just do it. Yeah, it's
All
okay.
right, yeah.
Wait till you see this film. It's going to be great. And for a change, Steven's editing it.
Yeah. And we're gonna like.
Oh, this one's sick.
Yeah, this is Celestial Songs. Yeah.
The vividness of this. Vividness? Let me see if I can get to focus. Just
Yeah.
incredible. I mean, it's hard to even look at that. The
Yeah.
detail. And how big was this? Like 3 by 4 feet or something?
Yeah, we're like showing it on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the most recent Roger Dean painting.
That's right. From
there.
that live, right? Which was
Yeah.
about 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Yeah, I think he finished those Facebook Live painting sessions of it in May, I want to say. I think it was around then. So, yeah, it was really cool seeing that, and just the contrast with like the dark and light in it. It's great, and Freyja's art was amazing as well.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's laughable that we're holding the phone up for you to see. I mean, that's
Yes.
actually pretty funny. But
yeah,
when
like
you,
it just doesn't do justice.
yeah, when you
to-
see the film that we made we get in.
I like
so,
how we're calling it film as
Well-
if we're makers of cinema.
Well, we are. Well, I am.
Okay.
And I have been for years.
Yeah.
But this is a film about the experience of seeing the exhibit. And you're going to see these so close up. We had the lens this far from the canvas from time to time.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, we
it's-
were very careful. of
Yeah,
course.
we were very careful, but we wanted to show the detail and pan and show you some things that you may not have ever noticed that are in the paintings, right?
Right. Yeah.
Oops, I almost blew it. I almost said, "Remember the one," and I said, "Hey, see the." You say, "Oh wow," and then you told me what album that was from. I didn't even know, but then it all made sense. So wait till you see it. It's gonna
Yeah,
be-
I know which one you mean.
Yeah.
So yeah. And at least a couple of Freyja's paintings were from this year, so there's some recent
So
stuff
you want to
there
show
as
one
well.
of hers?
Yeah, I'll go
Let's
ahead
see
and
if I have one.
show. Hopefully this isn't. Hopefully this is okay. So this is White Parrot, and it's on two panels.
I'll hold it so I can
Yeah.
get it in the right spot.
So it'll look better when we're able to like show the thing on the later episode, but the color, like when you see the covers are looking better now with that angle. Yeah, it's got very vibrant colors, and there's like a snake there and a white parrot, and
Yeah, and the
I
thing
think
about
there's
this,
a
when you
lion
see it in the
maybe.
film, it'll really blow your mind because it's literally the colors of a prism very gently fading from side to side, one to the other, as if it was computer generated in Photoshop, but it's painted. And if my wife is watching this, Enja, if you're watching this, this is the number one thing I wanted to show you because of the technique that she pulled off. I don't know. Did Enja comment yet?
No, I don't see a comment from her
Okay.
yet. Um, But yeah, with Freya's work, I'm less like I'd seen some of her work online, and of course a lot of it is new to me. But seeing that in person, just like it was a whole nother dimension, and quite literally. So, um, it was really exciting, like seeing. And you know, in some of the art pieces of hers, like in a couple of them, you could kind of see the traces of the lineage of that Dean family
Yeah.
magic, but there's also like a lot of freshness to her work where it's her own identity, and it's really cool that this exhibit showcases like basically two spheres and they sort of intersect in
Yeah,
some
that's a great way to put it.
ways. Yeah.
She seems to, and we'll go more in depth on this in the film, but she seems to interject more. I was gonna say cultural aspects when it comes to some things regarding
Oh yeah.
clothing and
Yeah, and there's
headdresses, different things like
yeah, and
that.
there's
That
also like some 3D like three
printed art,
dimensional work.
yeah, yeah. Um, it's hard to explain when you see it. Well, we're gonna,
Yeah, we probably seem
yeah.
like silly just like
Yeah, we're still absorbing it. I mean,
yeah.
unfortunately, the gallery's closed tomorrow on Monday, or we would go back and just sit and look at more of this. Like I showed Steve, I said, "There's a reason there's a bench here, it's so you could sit and just like drink it in,
Yeah.
you know." And the size of these things, and they're lit with just probably 14, 12, 10 to 12 feet up, just small canister LED lights. So the light is very clean. There's no tricks except for a few where fluorescent paint was used and they're lit by black lights. But other than that, the rest is just plain white LED lighting, and it's amazing how vibrant the colors are compared to what we see in print.
Mhm.
It's like a whole other dimension to it. It really is.
Yeah. And they had some cool stuff there as well. I, well, what I ended up getting was they had Open Your Eyes tour posters, and one had the red version of the Yes bubble logo, the other had a blue version, and they were also signed by Roger Dean. So I got those, got them put in a tube, and I also got this book, which I'm holding up right now. The Secret Path. It's uh, the art of Roger Dean and Freya Dean, and I'm 20 pages into it. It's only about 100, maybe 101 pages, so it's okay. It's 105. Okay. Yeah, it's got like that index stuff in the back. But yeah,
Just
it's
amazing.
yeah, so far it's pretty easy to get through, and I'm sure like we'll have more context to some of the things we'll be
Yeah.
seeing and showcasing in the later episode. And yeah, it's just I love getting stuff like this where it's like
Excuse me.
the art of stuff like that.
Yeah. The
Um,
behind the story of the different
yeah,
paintings and a lot of stuff about him and the family and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and also like real great design. Just merging the two worlds and Roger and Freya stuff, and I like it. It fits the overall aesthetic, and it's I don't know. I just love books.
Yeah. So I don't know what else to say other than please be patient. We're going to show you what I hope you feel is a marvelous take on a marvelous exhibit of some of the most marvelous art in our opinions. And I know a lot of you enjoys art, not just with Yes and Asia, but other things he's done with everything from Glass Hammer to Uriah Heep to OCBC.
OCBC, I think.
Yeah,
OCBisa.
yeah, Osabisa. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on, and a lot of this artwork was there. You'll see.
Yeah, and yeah, just really great stuff. And I'm gonna try to get it edited. It it'll probably be out sometime later this week, and yeah, it'll be worth the wait. And I guess before we close out, we could sort of touch on Roger Dean related thing you and I were kind of talking about
Yeah.
last night.
So what happened was we were driving actually still, and I asked.
Oh, was it when we were driving?
Yeah.
I thought we were like
Because
here
it
in
was
the hotel room.
my idea of wanting to hear the Queen album brought it up. I think when I asked if you saw the Elton John thing, is that what you're talking about?
Oh no, I'm talking about the like like last night we were saying what's the most what are the
Oh,
two most different
The other thing we'll save for another thing.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured it out, but yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. I'm with you now.
Yeah, so what we were talking about, like we were thinking what's the most different this and that type of thing. So one of the things was which two Yes album covers that were done by Roger Dean feel like the most different from each other.
Absolute most different, and it comes with a caveat. You cannot include Fragile, and I'll say why in a moment.
Right.
And you cannot include Open Your Eyes. And the reason why, what?
Yeah, I know the reasoning, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So the reason why Fragile is because it's the most embryoic, and of course it's different from everything else. The reason why Open Your Eyes is because it's just the logo. It's not a landscape or a spacescape or anything. So take Fragile, Open Your Eyes, put them over there. Other than that, of all the Yes albums Roger did, what are the two that are the most different? And think about that. Put it in the comments, whether you're seeing this live or the archive. Mine came right away, I think.
Yeah, so then what are yours?
Mine has to be. Now I'm stuck. Yeah. I have it in my head, but I'm trying to think, is this what I said before? Or do I feel differently now?
Yeah, I'm just talking so that it doesn't feel too silent for
yeah.
those
Well,
who are
what
only
about you? Do you
listening
know
to
yours
it.
off the top of your head?
Yeah, I think so, and I don't know, maybe if I think more about it, I might revise it later, but just my gut feeling is Relayer and The Quest, because and I think you and I were talking about how like, Relayer lacks so much color, but it's like still amazing, and The Quest has like all the color. It feels to me it looks the most real compared to some of the other Yes album covers. Like I feel like they've been looking more real in some of the recent like live albums and things like that, but I feel like The Quest feels like the closest to that. So I feel like it's the most opposite from Relayer in terms of how full of color it is and how the dimension aspect of it, like how it looks, I guess.
Mine is.
And I think we also didn't consider Close to the Edge because that would have been too easy.
Yeah.
The green.
Yeah. Thanks. I was just gonna say that.
Oh,
It was close
shoot.
to the. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Relayer and maybe Drama. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think, clearly Relayer, because of, like Steve said, the lack of the color spectrum, but it's beautiful. It's all bone colors, the whites and the ivories and the bit of beige and this and that. And then the snake has a little bit more color. I'm
So
just,
is that your answer? Or?
I think so.
Yeah. Also, something I was reminded of by reading this book is Roger Dean's first. He started doing album covers in 1968, and it got me wondering, like, what if Yes had discovered him like right before their first album, and we'd gotten like those first three albums
What
with
would they look like?
yeah, what would they have been like, and would that have influenced the title perhaps, kind of like how Fragile and its cover feel very intertwined,
Yeah,
you know?
very cohesive. Same thing with Close to the Edge. Same thing with Tales from Topographic
Yeah.
Oceans. Same thing with Relayer.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's
Same thing
he's-
with Union.
yeah.
Wait,
he's
what?
Onion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I said that facetiously. It's not even like the most outrageous thing I could say. Like, I don't think the rock formations are super different from like the concept of a union. I don't know. It's. I was just throwing out the first thing that came to mind. I don't know.
The color scheme of that is quite different, though.
Right.
With the
Oh,
yellow.
the ladder. It's not literally a ladder, you know.
Right. Right. Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, that one's great.
Yeah. So
Like, both of those are great.
yeah. Um, I'm eager to get this out. I don't want to rush you or rush the process, but if you've not seen this exhibit, if you've not seen the original paintings in person, I know there's artwork on the tour, but if you haven't seen the original paintings in person, you have no idea what you're in for. It's really interesting.
Yeah,
I was
this
very taken aback by it.
yeah, this exhibit ends October 30th. And I know there's like that Dragon's Dream like 3D experience going on somewhere around here in November.
November like 11th to 22nd, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And over in England, sometimes they're like at Trading Boundaries and stuff like that. They showcase Roger Dean's art. So, like, I'm sure, like, as long as you follow Roger Dean's page and Freyja's page as well, you're bound to find out when you'll get the opportunity to see anything related to their works, and you could make a trip of it like we did, and it could be fun.
And like I said in the beginning, I realized as we literally were walking down the street away from the building, I thought, I've never traveled this far to see a concert. But it's like you go see a concert and there's 3, 4, 5 of your favorite members of your favorite group and all that. We saw dozens of our favorite painting rock stars, all these pieces of
Literal
art.
rocks and stars.
Yeah, some iconic, some unbeknownst to us before, some we were seeing for the first time, and it was like, oh my gosh, they were born out of the same brain that bore these over here that we've known for, well, me 50 years, 30, 40 years, you your whole. How old are you again? You'll be 28.
Could be 28. Yeah.
In a couple weeks.
Yeah, and I also wonder, and if she has, and I just don't know, then I'm ignorant, but I do wonder if Freyja has ever done like maybe some album covers. Like, it'd be cool to see more of her work in that sort of field.
Well,
and
it's funny. I'm sorry. It's funny you mentioned that because you reminded me. I wanted to say I find it interesting that to our knowledge, the two of them have not collaborated on something yet. Now I don't know how that would
like
work.
same painting.
Yeah, you paint
like,
this part, I'll paint that part, or
Right.
one of them sketch it, the other one paint it, and then do the reverse.
yeah,
I don't
as
know.
far as we're aware, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. But yeah, what I was kind of getting at is I kind of wonder if someday we could get like a Freyja painting for a Yes project, or maybe just another prog rock band we like could be interesting, and see if people notice like I don't know.
So, when Roger retires from painting, will she be the Billy Sherwood of Yes's visual arts?
Yeah, I
Very
mean it's
versatile and stepping in and continuing and carrying that torch.
right. Well, I don't know that she would Yeah, I don't know, cause I don't think I think Roger's gonna be always painting for as long as he can. So the idea of him retiring is
Yeah,
but I get what you mean. But
it's different
yeah,
because he's
yeah,
not
I
out
think
on
it
the
would just
road
be
doing it.
fun for like a one-off at least, and see like what that looks like, you know.
Right,
And if and if she wants, she could like do more of it. I don't know.
right. Do we have comments? Anybody? Bueller?
No, I mean it's
Bueller?
night times
Okay.
on the
It's
Sunday, so
yeah, it's
you know.
nighttime on the West Coast, so it's later nighttime everywhere else. So
Right, but yeah, that's again, we love this, and as you can tell, we're still gushing over it, and
yeah,
yeah, just
like wow,
such a
can't
great
believe we saw
experience.
it. Seriously.
Yeah, I was like, I still can't believe we went there earlier today.
Yeah. I wish they were open tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah, unfortunately, we do have to leave Tuesday
right.
because a that's what my flight's booked for. Not that that can't be changed, but I just too many commitments and just business to take care of for both of us for both our companies. So it was great, though. I'm glad we
Yeah,
saw it, and we were there for hours.
yeah.
Yeah. So watch for it. We'll let you know when it's coming, and leave comments if you're seeing this on the archive. And hi, Ancha. And we will see you soon. Anything else you want to add?
um, I mean, oh, I just remembered it's Mike Tiano's birthday.
Ah,
So
happy birthday, Mike Tiano.
yeah,
That's right.
I meant to say
Good
that during
catch.
the news report, but then yeah,
Yeah. Happy birthday, Mike.
yeah,
Wishing you a very happy new year and your best year yet.
yeah. So thanks everyone, and stay tuned for more Yes Shift episodes. We'll probably do more like before this trip is over. So yeah, just keep an eye on this space.
Thanks, everybody. Talk to you later. Okay. So Ancha said,